Welcome to this explainer. Look, crossing into your fourth decade doesn't mean your machinery is broken, right? But the underlying biology, how you process energy, retain muscle, and manage metabolic waste, it fundamentally shifts. What fueled you in your 20s just isn't going to cut it anymore. So, we're going to break down exactly how to upgrade your fuel source for vitality at 40.
Let's start with the elephant in the room, because if you look at social media, you'd think surviving past 40 requires like a chemistry degree and a cabinet full of expensive, exotic supplements. But do you actually need all those pricey pills to combat a slowing metabolism? Well, the short answer is absolutely not.
The really great news here is that true, sustained vitality doesn't come from a miserable extreme diet or a crazy supplement routine. It actually comes from whole food realities. Today, we're extracting the key takeaways on 10 everyday foods that are scientifically proven to fuel your changing body way better than any of those supplements.
So, here's our roadmap for today. We're looking at high-quality proteins, essential fibers and carbs, fats for heart health, building the balanced plate, and finally, mistakes to avoid. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. High-quality proteins, fueling muscle and energy.
So why the heavy focus on protein right now? Well, as we hit 40, we face this thing scientists call anabolic resistance. Basically, your body becomes noticeably less efficient at using protein to maintain and build muscle. You literally have to actively fight it. But the solution is remarkably simple. Think about eggs for breakfast. They're highly bioavailable and rich in leucine, which is the specific amino acid that pulls the trigger for muscle synthesis, or plain unsweetened yogurt. Not only does it deliver protein, but those live cultures are absolutely crucial because our gut microbiome diversity naturally starts to dip in our 40s, which directly impacts how we absorb nutrients.
Let's actually put those eggs under the microscope for a second. We're not just talking about macros here. The vital micronutrients are game changers. Take vitamin B12. It gets way harder for us to absorb as our stomach acid naturally decreases with age, yet it is so critical for nerve function and preventing fatigue. And choline? That is a non-negotiable for cognitive sharpness and lipid metabolism. It directly helps keep your liver functioning optimally as your overall metabolism starts shifting gears.
Moving right along to Section 2, essential fibers and carbs, sustaining your daily drive.
You know, there's this massive misconception out there that hitting 40 means you have to just declare war on all carbohydrates. You really don't. You just need to upgrade the quality of those carbs to manage your changing insulin sensitivity. Plant-based sources are your secret weapon here. Legumes, things like dal, chickpeas, and rajma, give you this massive dose of fiber that literally slows down digestion. That gives you stable, sustained energy without those sharp blood sugar crashes that hit us so much harder as we get older. And if you pair those legumes with leafy greens, like spinach or cabbage, you're flooding your system with the cellular repairing plant compounds your older cells desperately need right now.
And to keep that daily drive sustained, whole grains like oats, brown rice, and whole wheat roti give you complex carbohydrates securely bound up in a fiber matrix. Now, when you need something sweet, stick strictly to whole fruits. Oranges, apples, berries, guava. Why? Because the natural fiber in a whole fruit acts like a metabolic net, significantly slowing down the absorption of fructose into your liver. If you drink sugary fruit juices, you completely strip that protective net away, and that leads to the exact kind of rapid metabolic stress a 40-plus body needs to avoid.
Next up, Section 3. Fats for heart health, protecting your engine.
Now, to protect your cardiovascular system at this stage in life, the goal isn't some 1990s-style low-fat diet. No way. Instead, it's about aggressively replacing saturated fats with nutrient-dense, unsaturated ones. The absolute gold standard here? Fatty fish. Options like salmon, sardines, and mackerel really need to become foundational components of your weekly routine so you can actively build a resilient, heart-healthy eating pattern and keep your engine running smoothly.
And here is the specific mechanism making that happen: omega-3 fatty acids. See, as we age, our bodies become increasingly prone to low-grade chronic cellular inflammation. Scientists actually call this inflammaging. Kind of a crazy word, right? But these specific polyunsaturated fats found in fish, they don't just sit there. They actively hunt down and resolve that inflammation, directly supporting your blood vessels and optimizing your cardiovascular function as the years go by.
Now, if you aren't a fan of fish, don't worry. You can seamlessly get these healthy fats by tossing pumpkin, chia, or flax seeds into your yogurt, or snacking on a small handful of almonds or walnuts. Olive oil and avocados are also fantastic choices. But I gotta give you the critical 40-plus caveat. Your basal metabolic rate has naturally dipped since your 20s, and these healthy fats are highly calorie-dense, so portion control is literally the only way to get the cardiovascular benefits without inadvertently driving unwanted weight gain.
Which brings us to Section 4, building the balanced plate, putting it all together.
Since there's no single superfood out there that's going to miraculously transform your health overnight, we have to synthesize everything we've just learned into a cohesive daily strategy. So here's your blueprint for the ultimate 40-plus plate. Notice the hierarchy here. 40% of the real estate goes to a massive foundation of vegetables for those essential micronutrients and gut health. 25% is dedicated to high-quality protein to actively fight off that muscle loss. Another 25% is reserved for high-fiber carbohydrates for that stable, sustained energy, leaving a targeted 10% for your anti-inflammatory healthy fats. Honestly, if you just memorize this ratio, you will solve like 90% of your daily dietary challenges.
And finally, Section 5, mistakes to avoid. Common habits that hold you back.
Because look, all that great nutritional construction we just talked about, it can quickly be undone by habits our bodies used to forgive, but definitely won't anymore. Watch out for these 5 pitfalls. 1. Consuming too many sugary drinks. They spike your blood sugar and drive insulin resistance much faster now. 2. Drinking excessive alcohol. It doesn't just add empty calories, it actually disrupts the deep REM sleep that's so crucial for cellular repair. 3. Relying on highly processed foods that hijack your natural hunger cues. 4. Oversized portions, which simply overwhelm a slower metabolism. And 5. Skimping on protein and fiber, which just leaves you hungry and actively losing muscle mass. Minimize these, and I promise, your metabolic engine will thrive.
I really want you to burn this mantra into your mind. Eat better, move more, stay consistent. The secret to long-term vitality isn't some miserable 30-day crash diet. It's making small, manageable upgrades to your plate and repeating them relentlessly over time. If you pair this solid nutritional foundation with regular movement, solid sleep, and routine medical checkups, you are building an incredibly resilient body.
Your 40s can truly be an amazing, revitalizing decade, a time to actively invest in your health and set yourself up for long-term vitality. So, based on the blueprint we just covered, here is my direct challenge to you. What is the very first, small, everyday food change you are going to make to your plate today? Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and here's to building your vitality.